Hey everybody, Kimosabi here. Going to try to give you an update on this slow moving market. Having some nice progress here. Nothing too snappy, which is a good thing in my opinion. Um, Building a slow base up leaves room for bearishness, leaves room for people to short the market, which is more indicative that it's probably going to go. If we go back to last summer, the the rallies that we saw here, very sharp moves up, and every one of them got retraced whenever there was a sharp move up. They got sold into, sharp move up, sold into, sharp move up, sold into, and then finally held a higher low. And these moves up looked very corrective, and the majority of market participants weren't really interested in this because it didn't break all-time highs or whatever. And then by the time it did break all-time highs, people were kind of late to the trade. So this is what it looks like to get in early to a trade. If this does spike up really quickly, it would most likely get sold into, in my opinion, just because then you have too many people getting bullish. So this moving very slowly, it looks really good, I think. Um, Something that I'm currently matching is this leg up right here, and anticipating that this price action basically follows that into the end of the month, and then have a mid-cycle pull down. Yeah, it might support those levels again back at like 84, 85. Is kind of my anticipation. So we'd have a daily cycle low, a mid-cycle low come in before repeating a large breakout potentially. Stop loss or invalidation for that is currently at the low. I don't expect that low to be taken out if market is to remain bullish. I think we did take enough liquidity, and now we have pretty crappy sentiment, and we're slowly grinding up, which is a sign of accumulation. Ultimately, we do want to see the range get reclaimed back inside of this consolidation. You would definitely target the upper end of the consolidation for that liquidity. But guess what happens when you break out of here? This breakout, you're going to have a lot of longs come in. So maybe we get that at the end of the month, and that's what drives the pullback. So this will look very corrective, and you'd have a nice impulse down, or it'll look like an impulse down, and that might be your last opportunity to buy on a higher low, especially if we close daily candle above 91,000 or so. That would say that's a higher high, and try to buy the higher low. So just to draw out what I'm kind of thinking that we're doing here, this correction being completed, what it looks like internally. Can't really say for sure. It doesn't look like it really matches, but I guess you can match that leg with that leg having an ABC in the middle, and then this move right there can mimic right there, which completes that move. Now we're doing something kind of different here. It's not impulsive just yet, which I'm okay with. I like building the position slowly and surely, but it does look like we are mimicking this leg right here. It's kind of doing the same thing. So what I'm seeing is an ABC here, similar to this ABC here, and then had that red candle, and then last Friday had that red candle. After that red candle, you had some green candles up, and I think that's what we just completed here. So what comes next could be this Darth Maul candle, which would make sense to do it somewhere around here. So price action may break up and quickly flash down, but then closing the daily candle above the previous daily candle closes, maintaining the uptrend. That would take this liquidity out, would take the upper liquidity out, maybe fake a breakout. So as soon as you do break that line, you get people bullish and longs enter, shorts are stopped out, and then immediately flush back down, taking out that liquidity, but then closing on a higher low. So I'd be ready for that to be coming in the next day or so. just based upon candle placement. After you have that ABC, that ABC, now it looks like we're going to do this and then repeat this ABC back up and maybe getting somewhere above the 92 by end of month. Then repeat that leg down. So that would be this leg basically matching something like that overall, kind of keeping that overall trajectory. Match this leg here with a nice pull down here. Might come pretty deep. I mean, you have to convince everybody that it made a lower high and it's going down. Uh, then after in the month of April, kind of break up into the range and hold, just like this holding pattern here. As soon as it holds there for a couple days, teleports up, just like this leg, and then starts the breakout. So that's kind of the pattern for the weekly cycle low and double from Camel Finance, what he's talking about. I would see it playing out with a pattern like that, a little bit more accumulation happening, probably taking this liquidity before it goes much, much higher. You got to think these liquidities have not been taken, and you're going to get everybody bullish. They're going to take these orders, feed them to these people, and then bring them back up and feed those orders to those people, and then pull down, and then it's ready to go. It's all just liquidity. They just keep searching liquidity. If they do want to accumulate, they need sellers. They need people to sell. So they want to give people the opportunity to sell. Either they bring it up and then bring it back down, and they want to buy everything they can if they are going to mark it up way higher. The market maker doesn't mind to buy anybody who's selling there. Anybody who's selling there, it doesn't matter. They will buy it all if they're marking it up. If they're not marking it up, then they're trying to fill short orders, and they will break the low and then retrace a little bit and then start a downtrend. And we can zoom in here to the 4-hour, still maintaining the uptrend, higher high, higher low, higher high, higher low, higher high, look for a higher low potentially for another push up. If not, it's going to come down and grab this liquidity before pushing up. It may want to just take all of the liquidity. I'm not opposed to it. I will look for opportunities to buy at previous supports after these liquidities are taken out. So this could get as low as like 78,000. Really scare the crap out of people before closing the daily back pretty high. You might get some volatility coming in here. Since we've been kind of trudging up slowly, the volatility might spike here a little bit. Might get liquidity up, liquidity down. I don't know if there's news events happening this week, but they'll find a reason to do it. As far as the pattern moving up, this does look like a completed pattern here with your ABC going here. Then the leg down, matching with that leg down. And then a quick little push up. So that kind of looks completed. It could be complete. It could be forming something much larger, but you do still have the uptrend. So as long as the uptrend isn't broken, all is well. Kind of want the dailies to continue closing above 84. Don't really want to see daily closures down, below 80, say 81,000. That would not look as good. As long as the daily candles keep closing higher, the trend could still look good. But a 4-hour could wick down there, might close down there, but pop right back up and give you a nice engulfing candle or something like that. So yeah, something that I'm watching. I mean, Elliott wave. I wouldn't even know how to count this. If this is an impulse up, you'd have like wave 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and there would be a leading diagonal potential. This might come for an ABC, something like that, just to take liquidity, liquidity, liquidity. The same 3-wave market structure the market maker uses for maximum liquidity, where they take the downside, they take the upside, and they take the downside again before continuing the trend up. The wave pattern I'm kind of expecting here is kind of a push down, almost like a double top here, and a push back down before popping the high to pop the low. That's kind of the anticipation that I have. Don't know if it's going to play out that way. I just know where the opportunities are. If you do double top here, that's going to be a liquidity area. So then maybe they take the downside liquidity, take the upside liquidity, and then take all of this liquidity. That's the way I would see maximum liquidity playing out, but just look for where the opportunities are. If you are looking for an entry, down here is definitely a great area, great discount area, especially after taking all these liquidities out. And your premium is, 91,000, which is the previous support. It's been acting as resistance, so potentially get a rejection there. It kind of makes sense. Um, if you do get another potential, three wave down pop up, that would be a place to take profit and maybe enter short, especially if you get a nice rejection, but it might be short lived and it pops right back up. So watch you don't get trapped down there. Um, if it does break the lows, then continue selling it, I suppose. And it's more bearish than I expect. Stop losses are at the low. You might want to put it a little bit into the wick to make sure you get a fill. Because if this thing does decide to break the lows, you don't want to get a stop loss filled, down at 72 when you wanted to get stopped out at 77. The market makers do that on occasion for maximum liquidity, which is why I place my stop losses just a little bit inside the wick. You will have some buyers that want to buy the bottom of that wick. I'll just get stopped out, and if it does form an uptrend from there, I'll just jump back in. Kind of the way I'm looking at the market. Trying to keep them stops tight. Watch the New York session. That seems to be when the market likes to move. So, yeah, and watch them CME closes around, what is that, 5 o'clock New York time. Between 5 o'clock and 6 o'clock, they close the CME and liquidity sweeps happen on low liquidity. So, hope that helps. Hopefully, I have a follow up video tomorrow. We'll see how this kind of plays out, what ends up happening here, and we'll try to assess it from there and find some more opportunities. Till then, have a good night and keep your stops tight.